everyone, keeping arenas game day ready. Call, click, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Need an escape from the everyday? Welcome to Putnam County, where crystal clear lakes meet scenic hiking trails and charming local shops hold hidden treasures. Whether you're hiking scenic trails, boating on crystal clear lakes, or exploring historic sites, every moment feels like a discovery. Just an hour from the city, Putnam County is your perfect day trip destination. Discover Putnam, where the country begins. Plan your getaway at visitputnam.org. New York State, everything you love.
Focus on her clothes when she was First Lady. She wrote it. She pushed it. She's selling it. She's making a mint off of it. It's called The Look, which really does just focus on her clothes. You cannot take enough of that insufferableness. Although she is always outdone by one Meghan Markle, who everyone would agree participated in the very worst reality show of all time on Netflix. And of course, that means that she just got nominated for an Emmy for that very horrible show. Meghan Markle wins the day as the most insufferable person in the world. When it comes to supplements, two things matter most: that it works and that you can trust it. And so rather than just tell you about Relief Factor, we like to let our customers do it because we hear from people every single day, like Jim. Now, Jim ran out of Relief Factor twice, and both times his aches and his stiffness and his pain came back. Once he restarted, he says he felt better again. As Jim says, you know something's working when you run out of it. I know Relief Factor is working because I could barely stand and walk with the painful sciatica I had in mid-May. Now I'm running and training for a marathon. Thank you, Relief Factor. They make it easy for you to find out if you'll be the next person telling us Relief Factor helped you tackle your daily aches and pains. 3 weeks for just $17.76. Just go to relieffactor.com or call them. 800, the number 4, relief. That's $17.76 for your quick start, but you got to go to relieffactor.com. 800 for relief.
Now when you play Powerball, add Double Play for only $1 more. Your numbers will be entered into the Double Play drawing for a chance to win up to $10 million. Double the play for just $1 more. If only everything good could be doubled. Double vacation days. Double desserts. Double your favorite dog dollar. Double your play with Powerball Double Play for just $1 more.
Try it today. New York Lottery. Can you imagine? Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. It's Vince for Valor Roofing. Did you know that Valor offers discounts to everyone, not just veterans and first responders? It's true. This month, all homeowners can get 50% off materials and no interest financing until 2028. And here's something a lot of homeowners don't know. If a member of your family served in our military, you might qualify for Valor's Salute to Service program. At Valor, they're proud to support those who serve and the families who stand behind them. As a member of the board for Operation Raise the Roof, I want to thank the Valor team for providing Carol Callahan of Woodbridge, Virginia, widow of decorated Vietnam veteran Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Callahan, with a new free roof. As America celebrates its 250th year, let's remember the heroes who make our freedoms possible. Valor stands with you. And if you need a new roof, trust Valor to keep you covered with 50% off materials and no interest until 2028. Visit valorhome.com or call 833-83-VALOR. Tell them Vince sent you.
Trust your home to Valor.
Supporting our veterans.
833-83-VALOR.
Making sense of your world.
I can't believe this.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
And I go with you.
Making sense of the news.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station.
Making sense of the news.
News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 9. Good morning, everyone. I am John Matthews. Breaking overnight this morning, police cars filled the parking lot of the Parkview Apartments in Alexandria.
APD says a man was shot at this complex at around 11:14 last night. Officers tried life-saving measures, but he died at the scene. Detectives have been interviewing witnesses, even using canine resources as they investigate. There is no known threat to the community.
7 News, John Rogers police have also not named a suspect. A frightening attack of vandalism at a community movie night in Northeast D.C. has resulted in police action.
A movie night at Alethea Tanner Park interrupted by a terrifying scene. Somebody set off fireworks in the crowd. The gunshot-like pops set the packed park scrambling.
This was assault. This was property damage. Somebody was injured. That's not anybody's idea of fun. That needs to be, whoever did that needs to be arrested.
7 News' Christian Flores reporting surveillance cameras are now being installed in the park. Some say that should help police solve crimes, but others say it's just an invasion of their own privacy. If you need to drive downtown at night in the next 4 months, you're going to want to avoid Connecticut Avenue near DuPont Circle.
And they're putting in girders, and they're doing a lot of the work at night at this point. Now, from 8 until 5 a.m., Monday through Thursday, and all day and night during the weekend, drivers are going to have to take detours. The reason is so crews can install girders that will kind of serve as a foundation of a brand new plaza that is being built over Connecticut Avenue in the block north of the circle.
7 News' Tom Rousey, 49 girders are being installed. They can only do 3 or 4 of them a night. If you have asthma or other breathing issues, here's more reason to stay inside. Smoke from Canadian wildfires is headed our way starting today.
By the time we get to Friday morning, it's really thick and down into portions of Virginia, even potentially North Carolina by Friday afternoon and Friday evening. That's your worsening air quality all the way up into areas, of course, of Pennsylvania, Western Pennsylvania, and even Michigan, of course, originating up in Canada.
7 News meteorologist Veronica Johnson, Saturday's storms may help to clear the air a bit. Police in Montgomery County are expanding their drone program with faster and more nimble flying bots.
These new enhancements will expand our geographic area that we are able to serve.
Police Chief Mark Yamada says the updated drone program also safeguards public privacy.
We launched this program back in 2023 with a clear mission to protect privacy and civil liberties in the communities we serve.
While improving response times for service, Chief Yamada says drones have responded to over 5,000 calls for service since the program was launched. Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.com.
It is not just the grocery store and the gas pump where people are facing higher prices these days. Affordability problems are cropping up down the ocean.
Ocean City realtor Terry Miller says the price spiral started during COVID.
Prices went way up. Now prices have stayed up.
Talk of teen takeovers hasn't helped. And a new tourism report for Ocean City shows lower hotel occupancy in May and June compared to last year.
It hurts us that gas has gone up so much. We're a drive-to destination.
Miller says folks should know Ocean City's beach is free, unlike Jersey Shore beaches, and she says some price cutting for accommodations and restaurants would help. Dick Iuliano, WMAL and WMAL.com.
You've heard about the parasitic intestinal illness that's making people slaves to their toilets. Well, it is spreading. Maryland now reporting the number of cases of cyclosporiasis has more than doubled the past week. And it's spreading quickly nationwide as well. More than 1,600 cases, 6 times as many as reported this time last year. The illness spread through the consumption of fresh produce, not person to person. So wash your fruits and veggies. The Dow futures are up 16 points. NASDAQ futures down 286. Traffic and weather next.
They say higher education is outdated, irrelevant. We say don't settle for the status quo.
At Grand Canyon University, we shatter it.
We lead with a pioneering spirit in classrooms that are incubators for bold ideas.
You want opportunity. You want purpose. A chance to lead and serve in meaningful ways.
This is purpose-driven education. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Visit gcu.edu.
Jamie Whitten in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
Virginia Lake crashes on 395 northbound. Before you get to the Pentagon, left lane is blocked. 3 cars involved in that. Plenty of the Beltway still below speed at this time of the morning. Watch for delays in both directions. Beltway between 270 and the Legion Bridge. Inner loop, this unusual slowdowns caused by the crash before 270 in the left lane. Heading out of Chevrolet, southbound Baltimore, Washington Parkway slows just after 201 Kenilworth Avenue to merge onto 295 southbound where we have crash activity. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Weather Channel forecast.
Hazy sunshine and hot with patchy smoke from the Canadian wildfires. Stray late-day shower storm possible. Middle to upper 90s this afternoon. Our heat index up over 100. Partly cloudy tonight, mid-70s. Hazy sunshine and hot again Friday with areas of smoke. Middle part of the 90s. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ken Boone on WMAL.
It is 87 at Reagan National. John Matthews, News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Chris Plant.
President Trump told reporters yesterday that tomorrow night's national address will focus on, quote, free and fair elections, as well as some of his other pet peeves.
His audience is a little slow. It took them a while to get there. They're not the brightest bunch. They decided to get tickets to go see him. So naturally, they're an unfunny bunch. Like his writers, who are many. They're legion. In fact, many of them also have legions, but that goes to the monkeypox and the scorching case of herpes simplex 12. You know, that whole thing. Well, a very happy Thursday to you and welcome. What he said was that the president will be giving a speech tonight to the nation, and one of the things he may be talking about, in addition to the violent criminals of the Democrat Party and Iran, their closest ally, is elections and intelligence that our very expensive intelligence community had collected on the 2020 election, where Joe Biden blew the doors off of history by getting millions more votes than any person in the history of the United States of America. Isn't that amazing? Big speech tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, if I'm not mistaken, Eastern time, and for now that's 9 o'clock Eastern time, because the House of Representatives voted to do away with this daylight saving time, changing your clock. You know, you fall back and spring forward and all that stuff. Looking to get rid of that, but that's not important right now. We'll see what the Senate does with that. The president says he will sign it. And there is a fight over whether you stick with daylight saving time or you stay with standard time all year long. It's also complex, isn't it? That's how we got here in the first place, I think. But we've got a lot going on, as is always the case, isn't it? Because it's a mad world out there, and it's got a crazy ending. So look out for us. Crazy endings are us. I got to tell you, but President Trump addressing the nation, and one of the focal points, according even to the White House, is election interference. And the initial reports were that the president will talk about U.S. intelligence having gathered intelligence, as they call it, perhaps ironically much of the time, that there was foreign interference in the 2020 election, and they presumably didn't want President Trump to win re-election after 4 years off. They wanted another 4 years of Joe Biden so they could invade every place else and jail and kill everyone else. Oh, speaking of which, Iran, which is holding American hostages, released a hostage because they're terrorists. That's the Muslim terrorists, radical Islamic jihadi terrorists. And it's how we first met them, invading our embassy in what is a war crime, taking over the embassy and holding hostages for 440 days. Well, right now, Iran is that they released one American hostage yesterday, and President Trump expressed his appreciation for that. But it turns out that Iran still has probably, and we don't know for sure, about 5 Americans still being, that we like to use terminology like wrongfully detained, things like that. That means you're a hostage of a terrorist regime, right? And they just took 3 hostages last year in Iran, Americans. Took them hostage, but they did release one because they're terrorists, and President Trump is here and they're having a discussion. They did release one American hostage, an Iranian-American woman who went there to visit family, and they beat her with fire hoses and threw her in prison and held her for, almost 3 years. And now they're letting her go because they care so much about humanity, and they're busy killing other people. They'll get back to all of that later. So we've got a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And I told you about the illegal alien from Laos. That makes him Laotian. And the Laotian Tao Lu Vang, a 42-year-old serial child rapist, was an illegal alien. He sexually assaulted a 10-year-old girl for years. She then became 11 and 12, of course. But for years, sexually assaulted her. Said he was convicted in 2006 for sexual abuse of a minor. And then the Board of Pardons and Governor Tim Walz granted a pardon to this Laotian serial child rapist who was in prison and then going to be deported. And the Democrats said, let's put him in a public school somewhere. Maybe he'd be a good teacher at a girls' school or something like that. The Democrats, and I've got a bit of an update for you on that because the Democrats, just amazing. If you're an illegal alien criminal, especially a sex criminal, especially involving children, then the Democrats love you. They're on your side. If you're Iran and you're dedicated to the total destruction of America, hey, you got a lot in common with the Democrat Party, and they're your best buddy. Most important ally that Iran has is the Democrat Party in the United States of America. No doubt about that. Did you see that was funny body cam video? Police officer in Nevada pulled over a car and came up on the car for a traffic violation. Not a huge deal. It was a red light. He went through a red light. Police officer pulled him over, comes up in the car, and it's the governor of the state who's a Republican. And the governor of the state says, "Hey, hi, officer. I'm the governor." And the officer is right. He says, "Yeah, I know." He just pulled over and driving his own car, I might say, in Nevada too, and pulled him over. That's kind of a fun story, and I'll share with you the important update on that because it's kind of fun. The president's big speech tonight is a big deal, no doubt about it. Also, did you see J.D. Vance? J.D. Vance, day before yesterday, I actually saw his helicopter taking off from the vice president's residence, and I pinged a friend of mine. I said, "Hey, I just saw J.D. Vance's helicopter. It's a Marine One helicopter with Marine Corps Unit HX1. Same people transport the president of the United States, transport the vice president." And I saw he was headed toward Andrews Air Force Base. I said to my friend, and it was like 6:15 a.m. I'm always up, and said, "Oh yeah, he's headed down to Texas to do an interview with Joe Rogan." And I'm like, "Well, good for Joe Rogan. They come to him. How about that? That's not bad." And Vice President went down there and he cussed a little. You see this? He cussed. He used a bit of vulgar language on camera there, and it's being used or it's being beeped or whatever. But pretty amazing stuff. And he was talking about socialists in his defense when he's talking about economics and how they lie that they're helping people and stuff. And he used a word that's abbreviated as BS, in the interview, which is on camera, of course. It's not just an audio interview. So we got that because, what the heck? Where are we? Also, we had testimony on Capitol Hill yesterday with Nick Shirley, who is, he's not a teen journalist, but practically he's in his 20s, and he brought his cell phone camera to Minnesota and blew the lid off of this multi-billion-dollar fraud thing with Somalia and all this. There was more testimony a couple of days ago on Capitol Hill about billions of dollars and our money, our cash, in duffel bags, leaving the airport in Minneapolis, headed to Somalia to fund terrorism because, Somalis and Democrats love terrorism. Honestly, we've had more violence from Democrats than we have had from Somalis over the years and over the minutes too, because the Democrat Party is quite violent. But we had Nick Shirley on Capitol Hill testifying. Fun stuff, no nonsense from him, and James O'Keefe as well, who has exposed a lot of chicanery and fraud over the years by his hidden camera interviews, mostly. Remarkable things going on. And also the acting attorney general, who ought to be the full-time attorney general, Todd Blanche, was on Capitol Hill yesterday. And Democrats just smear people and attack people. It's all they do. Then on the way home, they kill children and rob a liquor store, firebomb a synagogue, and go home and lie to their wives about how they're not cheating on them when they are, because, Democrats. Remarkable things. Oh, and Mazie Hirono, not the brightest member of the Senate, little back and forth with her, kind of an interesting moment, sort of. And the White House weighed in on Mazie Hirono's going after Todd Blanche. Hey, have you ever sexually assaulted women? I was like, the answer should have been, his answer was no, Senator. And the answer should have been I'm a Democrat. You should probably, every Democrat is, but that doesn't mean that everybody else is, Senator Hirono. Remarkable stuff. Also, Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, announces testosterone monitoring and this is for active duty military, because he's walking around and the Democrats,
They want to have a full transgender military. They want to put on a musical. They want to put on a show, and they'll give it a name like Gray Ships or something. Kick turn, because they want to put on a musical. But now Hegseth announcing testosterone monitoring treatment for active duty military. Kind of interesting, and different. Yeah, they just extraordinary. And Chuck Schumer weighed in on that because he just can't shut up. You know the fanatics because they can't change their mind and they won't change the subject. And Chuck Schumer is one of those. Not an honest person, not a good person, not by a long shot. But that's right. Tonight, the big some are even calling it the election speech. The election speech. I'm looking forward to it, and I know the Democrats. The funny thing is you can't drive them crazy because they're already there in an easy chair with somebody else's food, doing fentanyl. Oh yeah. Speaking of which, yesterday in Maryland, in Montgomery County, a school teacher lady was sentenced to, what was it, Michael? 12 years in prison for dealing fentanyl. She's a Democrat and a school teacher, and she was busted for selling fentanyl, and she sold fentanyl to one kid that overdosed on it. She's the teacher. The judge said that she's a Democrat. The judge didn't say that, but I'm going to say that because it's the likelihood of that being true is roughly 100%. Roughly 100%. Isn't that great? Oh, and speaking of Democrats, in Virginia, there's they've elected a jihadi named Saddam, and Saddam has introduced legislation. He's from Bangladesh originally, and then the Democrats said, "Hey, we got Saddam we can vote for to be a state senator in Virginia. Let's vote for Saddam." And all the Democrats showed up, and boy, he wanted a landslide. He beat a longtime Democrat who had been elected in the state house and the state senate time and time again in the primary because his name is Saddam, and Democrats love the enemies of civilization and the enemies of America. And then Saddam Aslan Salim, Saddam, like Saddam Hussein, Saddam Aslan Salim then won the state senate. And now he's introduced legislation that would make it a crime, a criminal offense, to inflict Islamophobia on anybody, which is a fake word made up by jihadis and the Democrat Party. The irrational fear of people that might kidnap your whole family, rape you to death, and cut off your heads and put them on pikes in the name of Islam. That's not really an irrational fear. That could be a legitimate concern. And then also the cultural undoing of Western civilization. But the bill introduced by State Senator Saddam Aslan Salim would define Islamophobia.
That belch was for you, Wiggin.
As it relates to the crime of assault and battery or malicious prejudice or hatred directed toward Islam or Muslims. But wait a minute. It would be language, words. So he's here, the Bangladeshi Muslim named Saddam that the Democrats elected in a landslide to the state senate in Virginia would put you in jail for insulting Islam. And that is, of course, the end of free speech and the First Amendment and the Bill of Rights and the United States of America. And the Democrats applaud it because Islamophobia, homophobia, all of them are projecting again because they have irrational fear of everything, or for them, maybe if it's gender or something, it's a rational fear of biology and science and modernity and Western civilization. But isn't that amazing? The bill directs the Department of State Police in consultation with the Office of the Attorney General and the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. I'm not making this up, DEI, to include the bill's definition of Islamophobia in its hate crime reporting central repository. They have a hate crime reporting central repository. Let's start with that. And Saddam Salim, he wants to put people in America in jail for insulting Islam with words, verbally, because he's a third worlder. And that's what the Democrats are doing in the United States. Wherever the left goes, the third world follows. Have you noticed that? Because they're the third world. Also, there was a big kickball game last night. Did you see the big kickball game?
Hey, Joe Dirt, I see you post in New York chat. Who's Billy? You blocked me. And then you have the ball. Now you want to come in here again? Joe Dirt. So do you live in Texas? I don't know. America is our greatest country. You wouldn't think so with you around. Joe Dirt. What's the matter? You don't like my radio program? No, you're the one who's boo-hooing. You blocked me, and now here you are in my chat. Why are you in my chat? You want to come up on my panel? Is that what you want to do? No? Joe Dirt. Oh, gee, I wonder who you are, Joe Dirt. Not really. I don't really care. You fucking block. You're a coward, boy. Here, let me see if my StreamYard's posting my link. Okay? I'll open my panel for you suckwads this fucking morning. You want to come up? You're fucking welcome to come up. Come on up and fucking try it. I dare you. Look at that. It's working. Come on up, Joe Dirt. Okay, you ain't pissing me off here. I'm going to piss you off. Now I'm going to ban you, dumbass. You got one choice, Joe Dirt. Click on my link or get the fuck out of here. You're done posting in my chat. Fuck you. You block me in them other chats and you fucking run your suck fuck. You talk to other people, you see my posts, and you respond about Billy Hayden. You're a chicken shit, Joe Dirt. Big time.
Continue to soar. Go to any New York lottery retailer today for your chance to win the Powerball jackpot over $500 million. Or play for your chance to win the Mega Millions jackpot over $550 million.
That's not fat. That's not fat. That right there is not fat. I'd like to see you try to grab my neck. Tough guys.
Plus 2 times points at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I slept in this morning. I didn't get out of bed till 7:45.
This season, it's not about
Joe Dirt. Joe Dirt, go back to New York chat and fucking chat with your little friend Lady Venom and all them other dumb fucks, right? If you want to talk to me, you're gonna have to click on my link because you're not posting in my chat, Joe Dirt. You're banned now. That handle is.
Higher Winter Troxel, we're going to make one of the most difficult financial transitions of your lifetime easy. As we work through the challenges retirees face and how to overcome them, we have one simple goal for the show: live your best life and sleep peacefully every night. Give my team a call, 301-850-0683, and join us this weekend on WMAL.
Investment advisory services are provided by Apollon Wealth Management, LLC, an investment advisor.
Hey, Alpesh, my neighbor across the street, Omar, is walking up the street right now. He's waving to me. He just waved to me. Omar. Alpesh. Are you live, Alpesh? You still got my mother's picture up there staring at it?
This week, we're going to solve some of the difficult problems in lawn care and plant care that are in many of the yards in our area. Learn how to be a great gardener and learn how to save a lot of money at the same time by doing everything right and doing it the first time. Great Gardens Radio, every Saturday, 10 a.m. on WMAL.
Each week in America,
I just put makeup on.
one child dies from heat stroke after being left alone in a hospital.
Did you go back to New York chat crying, Joe Dirt? Huh? Oh, look at him in there with Bud. I successfully triggered Billy. No, you guys haven't triggered anybody. The only one that can really get me going is Rusty.
But there's something you can do right now to protect.
I thought we were supposed to be friends, but she likes to use me as a weapon. She didn't like me saying that it's National Hate Rusty Day. She didn't like that. But she knows I can interchange any name. It's just, I don't. If I hate you, it's because you want to burn the American flag. You want to see the demise of America. I don't think Rusty wants to see that.
For a chance to win up to $10 million. Double the play for just $1.
everything good. We did it. Double vacation days.
Rusty jumped in her fucking car, moved out of where she's at, and came here.
Double your play with Powerball Double Play for just $1 more.
Try it today.
We don't need to be in love. I could be friends with her. I think that would be fun. Her being my neighbor. I'm not moving to fucking Washington.
PetSmart makes online shopping easy.
I gotta stay here. I gotta be around for my older sister.
Sniff out new toys.
Yeah.
Get a fresh cut and celebrate their birthday. We call it Store. From URL to IRL, PetSmart does it all.
Do you motherfuckers that say, "Oh, his family don't talk to him"? Hey, well, he might have his family. I'm talking about you, Wiggin.
The Derek Hunter Show every
Talking
single
about
weekday
you.
here from
You even attacked my nephew.
WMAL.
He knows it's senseless to say anything because you're just a fuckwad in the brain. Flip flop, wishy washy motherfucker.
I'd like to go to the telephones now.
He's laughing at you.
Marco Rubio having a big event at the State Department today on terrorism.
Fucking blood ass.
Terrorism, that's coming up. Right now, let's go to the phones. Let's go
Joe
to
Dirt.
Jackson.
Ooh. Oh, but no balls. Ooh.
Hey, man, very well. What do you say?
Christine Newton, you are a fucking just a fucking wasted piece of human flesh. You really are. Fucking ignorant bitch.
Anyone who works for ICE formally, they cannot apply for work at Montgomery County because they're an ex-ICE worker.
Because really, it's National Hate Lady Venom Day every day.
Sounds illegal.
See, I set you guys up doing this shit. No, if I would have done that at first, Rusty, but I gotta have you guys watch me go after her.
Well, I gotta tell you.
All right, she's gonna respond. I don't care.
Maybe you shouldn't have anybody. Montgomery County shouldn't hire anybody that's on our side, that's on the side of the United States of America, because that would whiz on their whole project, wouldn't it?
You got something to say about Meduse, Wiggin? Huh?
You cannot reason with him. You cannot, like I said, you've just got to.
And where's Randy? Didn't he have another episode in the hospital? Did you have more tubes up your nose, Randy? What are you, 20 years younger than me? You're fucking having problems?
In Maryland, there is a woman that was sentenced to 12 years in prison yesterday because she was selling hard drugs to students at school. She's a teacher.
No.
And she was the number one drug dealer in school. And she's selling fentanyl to kids. And one of the kids died of a drug overdose.
That's the joint I was puffing on when I ended my stream last night.
And she looked crazy as hell, of course. She's a fentanyl dealer. But she's also a school teacher, Jason, in Montgomery County, or she was.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's the biggest business in Maryland. It's the second worst economy in the country, but the fentanyl business is booming.
Well, you have your strengths and you have your weaknesses. What do you do? Everything can't be perfect. Jason, I'm glad you're paying attention. You should actually run for office.
This is the Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
WMAL traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. We have the road crew set up on the inner loop, Maryland, as you come up to 270. Left lane is blocked. This is now.
I hate how this fucker is functioning.
American Legion Bridge this morning, 395 northbound before the Pentagon. 3-car crash cleanup is in the left lane. Coming up on that at speed. Once past the crash, though, very slow still across the inbound 14th Street Bridge. Annandale closed as John Marr Drive each direction between the Little River Turnpike and Ravensworth Road. Crash broke down a utility pole. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Weather Channel forecast.
Hazy and hot with a straight late day shower or thunderstorm possible today. High 98, patchy smoke, and partly cloudy overnight. Low 75.
Wow. Wow, Bud, you really are out there, Bud Noble. Tim Noble, you really are a fucking fruitcake. It's just it's hard for me to do what Gotti wants me to do. But Gotti's doing his thing. All right, the thing with JT and all that. And I got a feeling it's a setup. Yes, I'm the one that made the clone of JT. Yeah.
Listen, Sunday mornings at 5 a.m.
Korean Downy Eyes. I made that. I have that clone, yes. You ain't going to be able to duplicate that.
Nobody does it better than Regent Seven Seas Cruises. Enjoy all-inclusive, unrivaled luxury with unlimited
JT knows.
indulgent cuisine, personalized service, and more aboard
He's just practicing to be number one out here.
PetSmart makes online shopping easy, right from your phone.
No fucking way
That's why we have a place to touch grass.
would Rain even want to sit beside Wiggin.
And celebrate their
You'd have to have one of those nose plugs that you wear when you go in the water so you don't get water up your nose.
URL to IRL. PetSmart does it all.
And that fucker stinks to high heaven. Don't you, Wiggin? Huh? You gonna get mad because I'm talking about you? Too fucking bad. You know, why you want to take away my First Amendment right, Wiggin? I have freedom of speech, right? And then you fuckers want to say, "Oh, Billy doesn't allow freedom of speech on his chat," especially from you foreigners. You don't have freedom of speech over here. That's us. No other country has a constitution guaranteeing that to them. I'm not the government. Freedom of speech. It's really about redress of the government, and that includes your local government. Your city, village, hamlet, wherever the fuck you live. And you got people like Whippermantle and them British fucks that, you know, we don't know our own history. We don't know our own government. Oh, you guys are stupid. Americans are stupid. Whippy was doing it again last night. You Americans, you Americans, you Americans. Seems to me that the Netherlands capitulated to fucking Hitler just like that.
Your spouse could face the widow's tax penalty, and your kids could be hit with a major tax collision. Stop hoping. Start planning. Go to taxessaved.com right now for your.
How about when Patton made those fine, outstanding citizens tour the death camp? More than one.
Stay connected through the unexpected with invincible Wi-Fi from Spectrum.
How can you live 5, 6, 7 miles from a crematorium like that, where it's just designed just to burn the bodies to get rid of people? Stink like fucking death. It's an unmistakable smell. You'll never forget it if you smell it. Especially on that level. Make you puke. When I first came into the chat here, you know, when we had the flat earthers, you know, logical and that, the Holocaust was fake. I'm not Jewish. I'm not Catholic either. Neither one. I'm pretty much Presbyterian, you know, along with all the other denominations that go along with it. Methodist, yeah.
WMAL, making sense of world events.
Episcopalian. Probably more Episcopalian than anything. You want to talk about religion? Hey, the news is back on.
Marco Rubio, our Secretary of State, the entire Department of State, holding an event, a speech at the State Department to an audience and not reporters, not a Q&A. And one of the things that he's talking about is, he said, you know,
look at that. Little Joe Dirt is mad, Rusty. I got that motherfucker triggered. He thought he's going to come in here. What a fucking loser.
The Democrats will scream, "We'll do nothing together with you," and then they'll firebomb your Jewish neighbor's house and attack the police and all that crazy stuff.
Ain't no liver spots, Wiggin. Look at. Not like yours.
31, I was taking notes. He said that Iranian proxy groups are working with left-wing groups in the United States of America. So Iran through buffers like the Corleone family, working with Democrat groups, left-wing groups in the United States of America, to undermine the United States of America and Western civilization, because there is an ongoing civilizational conflict in the world. It's everywhere. It's in Europe. It's in the United States. It's all over the place. Yes, it is. And the Democrats are part of the problem. They're not a part of the solution, not by a long shot. And left-wing political violence is a global issue. Also, it's a big deal, and it has been for a long time. I mean, nobody has murdered more people than the left. In the 20th century alone, they make Kubla Khan look like the Red Cross, and they murdered a lot of people. The Khans, Kubla and Genghis, the whole Khan gang, there. If the Khans were around today, they'd be hanging out with the Democrats because they've got a lot in common, scimitars and all that stuff. But we've got, and I tell you, I was just talking to Jason, who lives in Montgomery County, Maryland, commonly known as the People's Republic and all that good stuff. But listen to this story, because a district of Maryland, the headline, Montgomery County school teacher sentenced to more than a decade in prison for trafficking fentanyl. And that's great. Former, because she was arrested, and I guess the school decided, hey, wait, she's selling fentanyl to students who are dying from drug overdoses. Maybe she shouldn't be a teacher in the Montgomery public schools anymore. And I'm sure there was some debate about that, because you know how they are. But this is a fairly remarkable story. Former Montgomery County public school teacher sentenced to 12 years in prison for fatal fentanyl drug trafficking. Here's a picture of her. She's a white lady with blue eyes. Her eyes are bugging out of her head. She has, I would say, artificially colored blonde hair. And listen to this. A Maryland first grade teacher was sentenced to more than 12 years in federal prison in a fentanyl trafficking case that resulted in a victim's death, authorities say. According to court documents from the U.S. Attorney's Office of the District of Maryland, Sarah Catherine Magid, M-A-G-I-D, 36 years old, of Burtonsville. She distributed fentanyl in 2024 that led to the victim's death. Investigators say text messages recovered from the victim's phone, the child that died of the drug overdose, showed conversations and a meeting between Magid and the victim involving the distribution of fentanyl. Authorities said the pills involved in the transaction were pressed to resemble oxycodone hydrochloride. Sure, that makes it much more benign, I guess, but contained fentanyl, as so many things do these days. After the meeting, the victim was found dead. That's what you call a clue. The Office of the Chief Medical Examiner for the District of Columbia determined the cause of death was fentanyl toxicity. In a separate 2024 complaint, law enforcement was told that Magid, the first grade school teacher in Montgomery County, first grade teacher, allegedly left her classroom to sell drugs outside the school. Well, she's dedicated to her profession. Which one? Well, not teaching, I guess. Investigators later found text messages indicating she dealt drugs during work hours. Well, you spend a lot of time at work. Magid was also ordered to serve 3 years of supervised release after her prison term and will pay $25,090 in restitution for burial costs associated with the victim, who was a minor, therefore not named in the story, because there are rules about that sort of thing. Isn't that amazing? And when I saw this story this morning, I actually heard it on the radio, on WMAL radio in Washington early this morning, and I went and looked it up on Al Gore's amazing internet, peace be upon him. And it reminded me of a story because just yesterday I was talking to my friends at WLS in Chicago, which I do every Wednesday morning at 6 o'clock Central Time. And we were talking, and my friends there, Ray and the gang, mentioned that in Libertyville, a suburb of Chicago, a very nice place, very nice area, Libertyville middle school teacher, another teacher, because education, a Libertyville, Illinois middle school teacher was charged with using AI, artificial intelligence, which the school teacher possesses, to make child sexual abuse materials from pictures of students. I don't know, how many centuries you should get in jail for this, but a middle school teacher in Libertyville, Illinois, of all places, is facing child pornography charges for allegedly using artificial intelligence to alter images of local students and create explicit images. Marshall Sheffer, 44 years old, is a social studies teacher at Highland Middle School. That's middle school, at junior high school, and a school district employee for nearly 20 years. See, this is it. Now, you know how the Democrats love to paint with a broad brush when they're demonizing everyone, like ICE agents, who occasionally have to shoot criminals that are in the country illegally and have gang tattoos on their faces and are trying to run them over with cars. And Democrats say they weren't armed, like when you're trying to run somebody over with a car, it's not a weapon. Amazing stuff. And they demonize all of ICE, and it must be abolished. Let's apply that same principle to school teachers, just based on one day of stories. So all teachers are drug dealers who are killing children with fentanyl and drug overdoses, and all teachers are serial child molesters and kiddie porn creeps, and they have a new technology provided by the patriarchy and the United States of America, and they use it and abuse it to abuse children, and naturally in a sexual way because he's a Democrat. Amazing. Officials said he took photos and videos of current and former students and then used generative AI to alter them into pornographic images. See, now, let's apply, again, the Democrat standard.
Come on up here, Kevin's channel.
Generalizations. Obviously,
come on, you brave motherfucker.
The same thing.
Come on up here, Kevin.
Again, with,
none of you middle-aged motherfuckers dare come up here. Here it is, fucking Thursday. You guys should be at work, but you're in these chats all the time because you don't work. You do everything to get out of work, but then you try to make $1 the easy way.
This one reminds me of the mayor of College Park, where there's a college in Maryland. The Democrat mayor of College Park, who's now in prison for like 50 years for the scores of counts of child pornography that he was arrested for, and he's out there trolling on the internet for creeps because he's creepy. And he was, of course, a guest at the Biden White House repeatedly, and a close personal friend of Pete Buttigieg, because little boy child porn with Democrats. Isn't that amazing? And the guy was invited to the White House again and again. The College Park, Maryland mayor, because they all love to go into politics. And these people, now if we just started generalizing the way they generalize about ICE and everybody else, then we would paint them with a broad brush and we would label them all with the sins and the crimes of the few. But there it is. Mayor Patrick Wolhan of College Park, Maryland. 56 counts of child pornography in 2023 now. But he was hanging out at the White House with Pete Buttigieg and lots of pictures on the South Lawn and all kinds of freaky deaky sexual stuff going on. And if we applied the same standard that the Democrats apply, then we would paint with a broad brush and label them all as child pornsters and, of course, fentanyl dealers that kill children. Now, we don't do that because we recognize that it's a comparatively small number. Only 50 or 60% of Democrats are child pornsters and, LGBTQ child pornsters. I'm only approximating off the top of my head. But there it is. Maryland mayor facing child porn charges previously said Pete Buttigieg was his mentor. And then 56 counts of child pornography and all the visits to the White House and the pictures and him and Pete Buttigieg. And the news media never even noticed the story. The New York Times and the CNN and 60 Minutes, that's just there is no connective tissue between Joe Biden and the Biden White House and a cabinet official and the creepy child porn mayor of College Park, where there are lots of young people because it's College Park. It's called that because there's a college there. And creepy child pornster Pete Buttigieg's buddy, just amazing. Yep. Yeah. Actually, I met Mayor Pete Buttigieg shortly after I was elected mayor of College Park, Maryland in 2015. I went to the U.S. Conference of Mayors winter meeting in D.C. in January, and he was assigned to be my buddy. You don't want to know what that implies, but just extraordinary stuff. So he is now in prison because that's where he belongs for a very, very long time. These people, extraordinary. Yes, they are. Not in a good way, of course, but man, oh man. So those guys, just crazy. Oh, yeah, here's a good one. Illinois, here's an Illinois story. Because the billionaire mayor, what's his name? JB Backribs, Pritzker, of the billionaire Pritzker family, a felon convicted 10 times, who was let go by the Democrats and put on electronic monitoring, ankle bracelet kind of thing. 10-time felon escapes from electronic monitoring until he's found in the governor's backyard. The governor has a big mansion in Chicago. He's got the governor's mansion in Springfield, but he's got a family home on the Gold Coast, as it's called in Chicago. It looks like a giant government building, and it's his house in the city. And pretty amazing. A man on pre-trial release. They love letting people go pre-trial release because then they'll commit more crimes, and the Democrats will be happy about that because they want more crimes just based on everything they do and say and all their policies. But a man on pre-trial release in a felony retail theft case that he picked up already on pre-trial release from another shoplifting charge disappeared from the Cook County Chief Judge's electronic monitoring program for 11 days before authorities found him again in the backyard of Governor J. Backribs Pritzker on his Gold Coast mansion in Chicago. Records also indicate that Chief Judge Charles Beach's public pledge that major violations of the court's electronic monitoring program would be brought before the judge within 24 hours. The 10-time convicted felon, Dwayne Milton, began violating the terms of his release almost immediately upon being outfitted with an ankle monitor. It should be an exploding thing, too, so you detonate it remotely like a pager with Hezbollah. Remember those Hezbollah pagers? That was hilarious. Come on. And first, they give us Sid Caesar and Mel Brooks, and then Mossad and the exploding pagers. What more can they give? They give and they give. Extraordinary. So he started using it the moment they released him, and those violations continued for 6 consecutive nights before the matter was even reported to a judge. Around 10 p.m. on July 4th, the 4th of July, Chicago police officers were dispatched to the governor's residence on the 1400 block of North Astor Street, the wealthy Astor family, millionaires from way back, to assist Illinois State Police troopers assigned to the Pritzker security detail. Troopers had detained Milton, 46 years old, after he allegedly jumped into the governor's backyard. And what do you think he's going to do then? State troopers told Chicago Police Department that they had been monitoring the mansion's security cameras. That's a good idea. That's why you put him there. When they saw Milton, a Democrat, attempting to scale over the governor's rear gate, right over his rear gate. That's crazy. Before successfully entering the property, he's charged with misdemeanor trespassing. So arrest number 450. And they just let him out. Just let him go because you guys, extraordinary stuff. Yes, sir. And they hear this story. The CWB in Chicago lists his more recent crimes, at least. Certainly not his whole resume. But June 23rd, Milton again went into violation at 7 p.m. He's escalated on June 18th, on June 19th, on June 20th, on June 21st, on June 22nd, violating the terms all over the place. And then, June 23rd, it just keeps coming. The guy doesn't have much regard for the law, I think would be fair to say. Now, last Wednesday, Milton resolved the felony retail theft case by pleading guilty in exchange for a 1-year prison sentence from Judge Gillespie. And court records show that he received credit for 71 days served, including time spent on electronic monitoring, which is not in jail at all, and be eligible for the standard 50% sentence reduction under Illinois law. So they're just looking for new ways to let him go sooner rather than later, because they like crime. More Democrats, more crime. That's the arrangement that we struck with them, isn't it? Isn't it great? Yes, it is. Hey, look, I've run over the thing. Did you see this nice lady in Florida that went to her mailbox and found her new license plates in the mailbox? Did you see this? This is a lot of fun. Nice lady, a 77-year-old lady. She got her new license plates delivered by the state of Florida. And she didn't request any special license plate, but she got a license plate that's kind of special. That's coming up.
You're listening to The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
WMAL traffic from the Indeed Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. Road crews are set up on the Maryland Beltway. Listen up. Inner loop rights come up to the exit for 270. They block the left lane. That's giving us an unusual delay we normally don't see coming out of Virginia, crossing the American Legion Bridge. Outer looping off the 270 spur slows out of Bethesda toward River Road. Northbound 395 before the Pentagon crash is cleared. Still extra volume crossing on 14th Street Bridge west of 395, the intersection of Beauregard Street and Little River Turnpike. Punched up for that work zone. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Weather Channel forecast.
Hazy and hot with a straight late day shower or thunderstorm possible today. High 98, patchy smoke, and partly cloudy overnight, low 75.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And through Friday at Mattress Firm, you can get a ceiling mattress in any size for only $494.99. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Now when you play Powerball, at Double Play for only $1 more, your numbers will be entered into the Double Play drawing for a chance to win up to $10 million. Double the play for just $1 more. If only everything could be doubled. Double vacation days. Double desserts. Double your favorite dog. Double your play with Powerball Double Play for just $1 more.
Try it today. New York Lottery. Can you imagine? Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Having a problem? Call 1-877-8-OPEN-Y or text OPEN-Y.
Is your patio, sidewalk, or driveway cracked or uneven? Have you tripped or fallen as a result? If you're worried about the liability of an uneven surface on your property, American Construction Specialties can quickly help. Don't pay the high cost to tear out and replace your sidewalk, patio, driveway, or pool deck. American Construction Specialties has an economic solution which can raise and stabilize your existing concrete at a fraction of the cost of full replacement. They're environmentally friendly structural foam. With structural foam lifting, there's no heavy equipment to cause damage to your property and no loud noises from jackhammering. Best of all, most repairs can be completed in just one day. Have your entire patio, sidewalk, or driveway safe and level again. No job is too big or small. Call American Construction Specialties now for your free estimate at 240-665-5665. That's 240-665-5665. Again, 240-665-5665. Licensed in D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. MHIC 140530.
Help increase your vehicle's performance with Lucas Fuel Treatment at O'Reilly Auto Parts. A clean fuel system can increase performance and fuel economy. Simply add it to your tank at your next fill-up to eliminate carbon and varnish deposits. Get 2 bottles of Lucas Fuel Treatment for just $9, plus 2 times points at O'Reilly Auto Parts. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Imagine having complete clarity about your health, not just test results, but a clear plan built around you. Today, body scans and lab tests are easy to access, but true peace of mind comes from understanding what they mean and what to do next.
At Princeton Longevity Center, we go beyond testing to deliver clarity, strategy, and physician-led care designed to help protect and extend your life.
Our patients work directly with board-certified physicians specializing in preventive and longevity medicine, not algorithms, not generic reports.
Real doctors who understand your history, your risks, and your goals.
Yes, we use advanced imaging and comprehensive diagnostics.
But what truly matters is what comes next.
We interpret the results,
Connect the dots, and deliver a physician-led, personalized plan you can act on with confidence.
because information alone doesn't change outcomes.
Insight does.
At Princeton Longevity Center, your care doesn't end with a test.
It begins there.
Call 888-8000-PLC or visit PrincetonLongevityCenter.com. That's 888-8000-PLC.
It's Vince. I love cars and I love PCU Fast in Chantilly. Right now, they've got a great deal on powder coating your car's wheels. Get all 4 wheels powder coated for just $850, including mount and balance. Terms apply. Powder coating your wheels by PCU Fast doesn't just look great. It's tougher than paint, resists chips, brake dust, and corrosion, and it keeps your wheels looking new longer. Visit PCUfast.com or call 703-705-9220. That's 703-705-9220.
WMAL.
WMAL. Are you a parent of a child with disabilities who desperately needs a break? Then you need to know about Jill's House. To find out more, visit our website, jillshouse.org.
Well, we are editing up and chopping up and condensing the Marco Rubio speech for you. And let me just tell you, it sounds like I wrote the speech. It sounds like maybe the people that wrote the speech listened to this radio station in Washington. Wait till you hear what Marco Rubio had to say. Sounds like me. I want to buy beers for the people behind this speech. But I mentioned this lady in Florida, 77-year-old lady. She received her new license plates by mail. And here's the headline. Florida mailed 77-year-old woman a license plate that reads, that it's 2 parts, SQZ, and then a space, and then you have the orange in the middle of the license plate. SQZ A55. Now, it looks like A55, looks like it could be ASS, right? And then the rest of the headline is, she kept it. Florida's automated system shipped the phonetic obscenity to a Pompano Beach retiree while blocking over 500 deliberate vanity requests in 2023. So Florida last year rejected 130 vanity plate applications for being too obscene for public records. Then the state's own system generated a standard issue license plate reading SQZ space A55. And from a distance, it looks like squeeze arse, right? I mean, it's a squeeze butt. And mailed it to a 76-year-old woman then in Pompano Beach. Nobody caught it until she did. And Nancy Dello Stricto, she didn't mind the way that the plate read, and neither did her neighbors. And she said, when I saw it, I went ballistic, but now she's decided to keep the license plate because it's kind of funny. She lives in a retirement community.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station.
Making sense of the news.
News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 10. Good morning, everyone. I'm John Matthews. As the U.S. and Iran attack each other, U.S. Navy has struck another country's ship.
The U.S. has now fired on a commercial ship. It's a tanker flagged out of Curacao named Belmont. U.S. Central Command says the tanker was headed toward Kharg Island, Iran's primary oil export hub. The ship ignored multiple warnings. U.S. aircraft fired Hellfire missiles into the smokestack and disabled it. This after 2 commercial tankers were turned around the previous day. The propaganda ramps up on the streets of Tehran. One example of the propaganda, there's a mural of the late Senator Lindsey Graham with devil horns painted on his head, and there's another giant mural of President Trump in a coffin.
Fox News' Mike Tobin. The shooting deaths by ICE agents put traffic stops on ice this week until President Trump caught wind of it.
It was just 2 days ago that Border Czar Tom Homan shared that ICE was doing a temporary pause on vehicle stops. Then the president came out with this Truth Social post saying, We cannot give up one of ICE's most important and effective crime-fighting tools, the traffic stop. Mullen has not explicitly said the pause would be overturned, but he says this: President Trump and I are on the same page. We want our ICE officers to have all options available.
Fox News' Madeline Rivera. Fairfax County Supervisor Andres Jimenez is facing reckless driving charges.
On May 5th, Virginia State Police pulled him over for driving 104 miles per hour in a 70 mile per hour zone. And that's not all. Court records show Jimenez was charged with not having his registration information. He's scheduled to appear in court on Monday. If convicted, he could face a $2,500 fine and up to a year in jail. Jimenez has been representing the Mason District on the Board of Supervisors since 2024. He has not commented on this story.
A former first grade teacher in Montgomery County who was selling drugs while on the job will spend more than 12 years in prison.
Judge told Sarah Magid that she will serve that sentence, followed by 3 years of supervised release for conspiring to distribute fentanyl. She was also connected to a drug trafficking deal that left one person dead in March of 2024.
7 News' Adam Longo. Magid's also been ordered to pay $2,500 in restitution to pay for that victim's funeral expenses. Planning a trip down the ocean this weekend. High prices may be keeping some of you away.
A tourism report shows hotel occupancy in Ocean City lower in May and June compared to last year. Realtor Terry Miller believes it's a problem of affordability.
We kind of got a little bit higher price than we should be, I think.
Higher gas prices don't help. Neither does concerns about teen takeovers when social media tag-ups produce sudden crowds of kids.
That does hurt some. That can be a deterrent.
But Miller and others in the hospitality industry say lower pricing would help and improved messaging about all that Ocean City has to offer. Dick Iuliano, WMAL, and WMAL.com.
Checking your money at this hour. The Dow is down 21 points. NASDAQ is down 207. Up next, traffic and weather on WMAL.
What does your schedule look like? Long shifts? Changing hours? Post University offers flexible online nursing programs. Keep moving forward with Post University. Become a Post person at post.edu.
Support is available 24/7 with VerboCare. We're here day or night, ready whenever you need help. Because a great trip starts with the right support.
Most people don't wake up feeling exhausted or off. It happens slowly. You're working hard, showing up, but your energy crashes, your focus fades, and your body just doesn't feel right. You're told it's just aging. There are signals. Your hormones, metabolism, or nutrients could be out of balance. That's where Joy and Bloats come in. They test over 70 biomarkers. Connect you with a real clinician and build a personalized plan. No guessing. Get clarity, energy, and your edge back. Go to joyandbloats.com/Dan and use code Dan for 65% off labs and 20% off supplements. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA and are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition. Not available in all states. Prescription required. Visit joyandbloats.com for terms and restrictions.
Looking for a quick escape from the city? Come to Putnam County, just an hour from Manhattan. And if you're in Connecticut, Putnam's practically in your backyard. Hiking, boating, dining, shopping, oh my. Plus, crystal clear lakes, scenic trails, and enough history to make your IG feed pop. Don't feel like driving? No problem. Putnam's a short hop over the border for Canada. Discover Putnam, where the country begins. For more information, please visit our website, visitputnam.org. New York State, everything you love.
Now when you play Powerball, at Double Play for only $1 more, your numbers will be entered into the Double Play drawing for a chance to win up to $10 million. Double the play for just $1 more. If only everything good could be doubled. Double vacation days. Double desserts. Double your favorite dog. Double your play with Powerball Double Play for just $1 more.
Try it today. New York Lottery. Can you imagine? Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Having a problem? Call 1-877-8-OPEN-Y or text OPEN-Y.
WMAL traffic and weather. Here is Jamie Whitten in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
Late crash in the district, DC 295 southbound to get you past Burroughs Avenue, and that's what's giving us slowdown for those of you emerging out of Chevrolet. Constitution Avenue slows as you come off the Teddy Roosevelt Bridge, working around toward 14th Street. Roadwork is set up on the Maryland Beltway each direction just south of the 270 Spur and River Road. That's giving us delays both ways out of Virginia. The interloop was jammed across the Legion Bridge. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Weather Channel forecast.
Hazy sunshine and hot with patchy smoke from the Canadian wildfires. Stray late-day shower storm possible. Middle to upper 90s this afternoon. Our heat index of over 100. Partly cloudy tonight, mid-70s. Hazy sunshine, hot again Friday, 90s. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ken Boone, WMAL.
Right now it is 87 in Springfield, 86 in Damascus, 89 at Reagan National. I'm John Matthews on News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
For 25 years, the term counterterrorism, at least in the West, has meant first and foremost the fight against radical Islamist extremism. And there's a very poignant reason for that. On the 11th of September, in the year 2001, 19 men murdered 3,000 people here in my country.
Yeah, I remember that well. And that's sorry, but Marco Rubio is updating us on the true meaning of terrorism in the 21st century in the United States. Just this morning at the State Department in Washington, D.C., the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, former senator, Florida, perhaps future president, wait until you hear the speech that he gave this morning. I think you're going to like it. Sounds a lot like someone I know. A very good and happy Thursday, too, and welcome back once again. We continue to be at 888-630-9625. I was just sitting here, we were talking about this nice lady in Florida, a 77-year-old woman who received her Florida license plates in the mail. And the Florida license plate that she received, issued by the state, random computer, an algorithm that picks these license plates, and her license plates on her Hyundai SQZ on the left, and then the oranges in the middle, and then A55 on the right. The A55 looks like ASS, so it's a squeeze A55. And the lady received it in the mail and said, "This is crazy," and debated whether to keep them or not, and she decided she's got enough of a sense of humor. She decided to keep the license plates and put them on her car with squeeze A55 SQZ A55 on her license plate. And it's funny that the state just sent her that, because the state rejects license plates every year that people request. Vanity plates, they're called. And among the plates that they've rejected in Florida, they rejected somebody, presumably men request these things, 8AD, that then looks kind of like bad like BAD, but it's 8AD, and then the oranges in the middle, AZZ, so it looks like bad as, right? And a guy requested that, and they said, no, you can't have that license plate, that's obscene. Somebody else requested the license plate, FAFOMF, FAFOMF, and they said, no, you can't have that license plate, it's obscene. And they said, it just means fool around and find out, my friend. Fool around and find out, my friend. And they said, no, you can't have that license plate. And then here's another funny one. Mr. DUI. The guy wanted his license plate to be Mr. DUI. I assume he's a lawyer for drunk drivers. Either that or he really loves driving drunk. And Mr. DUI, that's kind of a funny plate. And they said, no, you can't have Mr. DUI. No, you can't have bad as, and you can't have FAFOMF. You can't have those. But then they sent the nice lady SQZ A55. The state has no sense of humor. That's kind of fun and wacky stuff. Well, welcome back once again. Nice to have you. And let us go to Marco Rubio. We started with Marco Rubio giving a speech at the State Department this morning. And it was, I think, I would say, a very strong speech having to do with, and he set it up with radical Islam, September 11, 2001, 19 jihadis murdering thousands of people. He said, in my country, it's my country too. And my country tis of thee, and we need to get rid of these animals and savages that walk among us. The Democrats want to have more animals and savages walking among us, particularly illegal aliens from deep hole countries when they're gang members and all that good stuff. Just amazing stuff. I am telling you. So
Yeah, but for 25 years, and the 25th anniversary of September 11th is coming up. And I talk about the violence of the political violence of the left all the time. Marco Rubio and his team at the State Department decided to talk about that today very publicly at the State Department. And I've got to tell you, I was listening to it and thinking, this guy is definitely running for president. And I think after being a senator and Secretary of State, and he's really stepped up as Secretary of State. I think it was good, great as a senator. But Secretary of State, he's really elevated his game significantly. Now, we played soundbite number 26, talking about terror for 25 years, meant radical Islamic terror. And he changes the trajectory of the speech, of the discussion after a little bit, talking about radical Islam and so on. And a small audience present in the State Department room where he was holding the event, a small kind of theater-ish setting. And here is the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, this morning at the State Department.
Jihadist attacks and plots in the United States are down by 2/3 since ISIS's peak. The number of people killed by jihadist terrorism in Europe dropped by roughly 97% from the year 2015 to the year 2024. In other words, to a very great extent, our counterterrorism strategy has worked.
Because President Trump annihilated ISIS, the Islamic State, and remember Barack Obama tried to really respect ISIS. And did he fund them too and give them nuclear weapons? Because Barack Obama, not on our side, his middle name is Hussein, and not on our side by any stretch of the imagination. And he tried to call them ISIL because he wanted to call Israel the Levant, as terrorists called Israel centuries ago, because these people all live in the ancient past, the distant past. But radical Islamic jihadi attacks down by 2/3 since the peak of ISIS, which was Obama land, and all that kind of good stuff. Amazing. And that's because President Trump targeted ISIS, and the U.S. military and the intelligence were able to isolate them and destroy them. And look, it saves the lives of the good guys when you kill the bad guys who are just alive to kill you, and all of that good stuff. Remarkable stuff. Marco Rubio hadn't even warmed up yet. Here's Marco Rubio talking about and really this is where he takes a turn here, to the Democrat Party. He doesn't call them the Democrat Party, he calls them the left, the political left, which is the Democrat Party, and their political violence. I mean, it sounds like he and his team at the State Department might listen to my radio show at least now and then. Marco Rubio.
For far too long, however, our counterterrorism doctrine has had a blind spot when it comes to extremist violence from the political left. Even today, the very idea that far-left terrorism could be a serious threat is treated as a right-wing fever dream, or worse, as a dangerous fascist conspiracy. It's treated this way by many in the press, by many in academia and our universities, and by many of our legacy institutions.
The left. All the left. Yeah, that's right. If you mention the terror and the violence, the political violence of the left, then academia, the corrupt, filthy news media, and Democrats accuse you of being a fascist. It's the old technique that I've described for 20 years now as change the subject and attack. So you talk about their political violence, they immediately start calling you a Nazi and a fascist, and then they firebomb a Jew's house, because no sense of irony. These people. Marco Rubio.
This kind of organized violence and terror will be dismissed. It will be dismissed as a partisan fiction. A whole industry grew up in our countries around the study of extremism. We have think tanks and fellowships and journals and consultancies with the unspoken understanding among them that only one kind of political violence was a true threat to the system. A bomb planted by a neo-Nazi group was a nefarious and murderous act of evil. It is. But a bomb planted by a Marxist revolutionary, well, that's just merely a tragic excess of idealism. Perhaps its means were misplaced or overzealous, but its ends were virtuous and just.
Right, and also how many times have we seen things where they try to blame, some right-wingers, and then you find out it's a left-winger. The pipe bomb at the Republican National Committee headquarters on June 5th, going way back. And the Republican DNC headquarters, the RNC headquarters, pipe bombs. And, oh, yeah, it's Trump. It's Trump. And, of course, January 6th is the biggest, most important riot ever. Ashley Babbitt was shot and killed by a racist cop. And the Democrats applauded a 12-year Air Force veteran being shot and killed at point-blank range by a police officer, black cop, white lady. So therefore, it's not racist. See how the Democrats apply the rule of racism? Black cop shoots white woman, 12-year Air Force veteran, never broke a law in her life. She might have been trespassing that day. Death penalty offense in the Democrat Party. So that one riot, that's a big deal. But here goes Marco Rubio, sounding like he listens to my radio show.
There's a reason for the now infamous image. You all recall this of a news anchor from a very prominent agency. A news anchor standing in a neighborhood consumed in flames. Meanwhile, the chyron on the bottom read that the protests were mostly peaceful. This was something worse than a double standard. Left-wing violence was not just excused, it was treated as sacrosanct, a protected class unto itself. That era has to end.
Technically, it's a chyron, not a cryon, but But I understand most people don't talk TV, lower third graphic technology talk, so I understand that. But sure, he's talking about the mostly peaceful, the burning of the George Floyd riots all across the country, the double standard of the filthy, corrupt news media because they're Democrat bootlicks and want to get into the lubricated hot tub with the Democrat Party, with their hands all under the water, and it's like that. Here is Marco Rubio this morning.
This is real, and it is getting worse, and it can no longer be denied, and it can no longer be ignored, because it is time to crush this evil forever.
Crush this evil forever, the left-wing evil that has been burning, destroying, killing, enslaving, imprisoning by the millions for a century, over a century now. 1917, St. Petersburg, Lenin, the Bolshevik Revolution. Lenin, who famously said, the goal of socialism is communism. And now that must be the goal of the Democrat Party. Marco Rubio and the lefties.
Far-left violence has jumped by more than 40% in just the last year alone. Americans have seen what those numbers mean. An all-out assault on our immigration officers, sniper attacks, explosives, armed ambushes, a transgender shooter opening fire on Catholic elementary school students as they pray, his gun marked with slogans like, "Where is your God now?" A healthcare executive executed in cold blood in the streets. Multiple assassination attempts on a sitting president, and the murder of the greatest conservative activist of a generation.
Good stuff here. The sniper that got Luigi Mangione, an assassination in New York City because healthcare and insurance and capitalism bad. Tranny attacking with a gun at Catholic school and murdering. A sniper killing Charlie Kirk. Left trying to assassinate President Trump again and again and shooting him and clipping him. And none of that is big news. When Congressman Steve Scalise, which he left out, was shot, the news media it was a one-day story when a Bernie Sanders campaign volunteer named James Hodgkinson shot Steve Scalise with a Chinese-made combat assault rifle, and his goal was to mow down and murder every Republican on that baseball field practicing for the congressional baseball game. And that look, the New York Times and CNN, that's normal. There's nothing political about that. That's perfectly normal. But January 6th, that's a big deal. The 3-day attack on the White House where they set St. John's Church on fire, the Church of the President's 1814 church, I think, 1815 maybe, and Church of the Presidents, they set that on fire. One-day story, not a big deal. Nothing, nobody even knows about it because our filthy, corrupt news media. Marco Rubio this morning at the State Department.
This is a distinctive and unique evil. It has always been driven by a hatred, above all else, a hatred for civilization itself.
Yep.
It is a revolt of the worst against the best.
That's what I always say.
A revolt of the weak and the cowardly against the strong and the good. It is perpetrated by those who cannot build, who cannot create, who cannot achieve great things, and take their revenge upon the world for their own inadequacy by seeking to destroy those who can.
The mob violence that the Democrats have normalized, assassins, snipers, mob violence, arsonists, anti-Semites, it is rampant in the United States, and Marco Rubio today calling it out.
This is what radical leftism is. It may wear various different slogans and ideologies across place and time. They can call themselves anti-capitalist or anti-imperialist or communist or anarchist or Marxist, but the fundamental character is always the same. It's always the same. It is a poisonous resentment cloaked in the language of equality and justice and liberation, an overwhelming need to tear down what greater men have built, to wreck what is beautiful and what is right on behalf of people who are only filled with ugliness and have nothing else to offer the world. Through violence and through terror, they once again seek to impose their ugliness on all of us.
That is a fact, Jack. I am become God, destroyer of worlds. Of course, in their case, their dog is their co-pilot, so I think they become dog, don't they? Destroyer of worlds. They're certainly dumping all over it. Marco Rubio, he's not done yet, and I'm not done yet. Marco Rubio, a bit more coming up. Marco Rubio's big speech at the statement. Now, again, this is not foreign policy he's addressing. This is domestic policy, very importantly, that our Secretary of State, our chief diplomat, was discussing today at the State Department, and there's more yet to come.
There's only one Chris Plant, the Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Feel the heat and grab the cash at Mohawk Casino. Play the $60,000 summer cash giveaway, where you've got a chance to win big cash prizes. Earn entries July 1st through August 22nd. Then mark your calendars to be here for the grand prize drawings on July 25th and August 22nd, when we're handing out cash prizes each night, ranging from $250 to the grand prize of $10,000 cash. Only at Aquasasmi Mohawk Casino Resort, your everyday escape.
Now when you play Powerball, at Double Play for only $1 more, your numbers will be entered into the Double Play drawing for a chance to win up to $10 million. Double the play for just $1 more. If only everything could be doubled. Double vacation days. Double desserts. Double your favorite dog dollar. Double your play with Powerball Double Play for just $1 more.
Try it today. New York Lottery. Can you imagine? Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Any problem? Call 1-877-8-OPEN-1 or text OPEN-1.
Are you single and looking? Well, you know what? Come find me at a baseball game. There you are, rooting for the home team. When a beautiful woman asks, "Are you sitting in my seat?" There's been a mix-up. You get moved to a skybox together, and you fall madly in love. Or you can call It's Just Lunch. Their dating experts will get you out on some real dates for some real fun, real fast. It's Just Lunch, the smarter way to date. It's justllunchdc.com or call 202-466-4333.
Not planning today can cost you tomorrow. Stop worrying and start planning with Trajan Wealth. Contact Trajan today at 202-750-3300 or go to TrajanWealth.com. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, SEC registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
I am Winter Troxel. We're going to make one of the most difficult financial transitions of your lifetime easy. As we work through the challenges retirees face and how to overcome them, we have one simple goal for the show: live your best life and sleep peacefully every night. Give my team a call, 301-850-0683, and join us this weekend on WMAL.
Investment advisory services are provided by Apollon Wealth Management, LLC, an investment advisor registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Insurance and annuities offered through MFG Insurance Services, Inc. and its associated insurance licensed agents.
If you want to build the garden of your dreams, listen to Great Gardens Radio. Your hosts, Steve and Rick, have moved to 10 a.m. every Saturday on WMAL. This week, learn how to solve some of the difficult problems in lawn care and plant care that are in many of the yards in our area. Learn how to be a great gardener and learn how to save a lot of money at the same time by doing everything right and doing it the first time. Great Gardens Radio, every Saturday, 10 a.m. on WMAL.
The right window treatments change everything.
Your sleep, your privacy, the way every room looks and feels. At Blinds.com, we've spent 30 years making it surprisingly simple to get exactly what your home needs. We've covered over 25 million windows and have 50,000 five-star reviews to prove we deliver. Whether you DIY it or want a pro to handle everything from measure to install, we have you covered. We're design professionals. Free samples, zero pressure. Right now, get up to 50% off with minimum purchase. Plus, get a free professional measure at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions apply.
When the moments in your life are too important to miss, you can trust O'Reilly Auto Parts to keep you and your plans on the road. Our professional parts people can test your vehicle's battery and even give it a charge if needed. In most cases, we can install your new battery for free. It's just one of the many services we provide at O'Reilly Auto Parts to ensure life's best moments don't find you stranded.
For the past decade, the market has rewarded investors. The question is, what are you doing with those gains? If you've watched your portfolio climb,
Uh-oh. Now what? Lost connection. Fuckers.
multiple sources of income to meet our needs. The 30-plus 9 savings plan can turbocharge your income with its 30% deposit match and 9.5% guaranteed annual rate of return. Backed by a Fortune 100 company, the 30-plus 9 plan provides safety, security, and peace of mind. It's something everyone should take a look at. For free information, call or text to 888-411-4130 or click this video to learn more.
Share their mission. Like Iranian proxy network.
They cut that off because of Marco Rubio.
To leftist militant groups around the world.
Iranian proxy groups tied to leftist groups around the world.
Yeah, this is proof of voter fraud and everything.
Today's far-left terrorists can raise money in one country. They can host their communications in a second country.
Don't forget, Marco Rubio is Cuban descent.
Militants in a fourth country. And then together strike a target in a fifth country. And so we have no choice but to confront this menace together. We will either cooperate across our borders, or the terrorists will continue to exploit the gaps between them.
Democrats want open borders, more terrorists, more gang members, Marco Rubio.
Under President Trump, for the first time, the United States is building the infrastructure, the partnership, and the strategy to defeat the scourge of far-left terror. The President signed National Security Presidential Memorandum Number 7, outlining a comprehensive strategy to investigate and disrupt Antifa terror networks and their allies.
Ah, yes, Antifa. That was a German, a radical left-wing German terrorist group that home invasions, kidnappings, murders, assassinations. And now the Democrats have raised a generation of Americans to be proud supporters of Antifa. The Democrat Party and the American left are an extraordinary threat.
This is the Chris Plant Show.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station.
Making sense of the news.
News Talk 105.9. News now.
Mail News at 10:30. Good morning. I'm John Matthews. The U.S. has intensified its strikes on Iran, hitting targets farther north and also firing into a ship the U.S. accused of trying to break its naval blockade. Iran retaliated with missile and drone fire targeting U.S. allies Bahrain, Jordan, and Kuwait. President Trump set to address the nation on topics this evening he says will include elections and voting machines. The address will possibly discuss what the president still insists was a rigged 2020 loss to Joe Biden. It's unclear to what extent the TV networks are planning to air the speech. You can hear it live here on WMAL starting at 9. 2 historical documents that were on display in the newly opened undercroft of the Lincoln Memorial have been removed after being exposed to unsafe temperatures. The copies of the Emancipation Proclamation and the 13th Amendment, both signed by Lincoln, were exposed to 80-degree temperatures far warmer than limits set by document experts. Traffic and weather next.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Capitol Beltway, we have delays each direction heading toward 270, and that's because of work zones set up on the Beltway south of the spur before River Road each way. Outer loop slows before Old Georgetown Road, inner loop slows back before the Georgetown Pike, almost back to the toll road leaving Virginia. Alexandria, west of 395, intersection of Beauregard Street and 236, jammed to get through that work project. And it's the volume delays south on 95 building into Woodbridge, approaching and passing 123. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Weather Channel forecast.
Hazy, hot, humid, high 98. It's 89 at Reagan National. John Matthews, News Talk 105.9, WMAL.
Attention men, it's time to make a bedroom the best room in the house. True Vitality Medical Center eliminates erectile dysfunction and PE for thousands of men, even when Viagra and Cialis have failed. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
True Vitality Medical Centers, painless breakthrough treatments, eliminate ED and PE. Age doesn't matter, medical history doesn't matter. 98% of patients experience instant results right in the office.
In just one visit, True Vitality Medical Center has men lasting longer, performing better, and enjoying the best sex of their lives. Right now, your consultation and first treatment are free. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone check free. Call 703-637-1222. 703-637-1222. To end your frustration in the bedroom, call now. 703-637-1222.
You ever heard the story of Harry? He was a legend around here. Until one afternoon, he left and never came back. Turns out, Harry went and made himself a website using Squarespace. Used Squarespace domains to buy artisanseatcushions.com. And he built a beautiful site with an online store to sell his artisan seat cushions. Now Harry's sitting on a fortune. And if our Harry can do it, anyone can. Build your business at squarespace.com. Use offer code EVERYTHING for 10% off your website or domain.
Stay cool this summer with AC Pro and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, receive a $20 O'Reilly Auto Parts gift card after rebate with the purchase of a select AC Pro ready-to-use refrigerant kit that includes a hose and gauge. The advanced formula works quickly to seal common vehicle air conditioner leaks. Beat the heat at O'Reilly Auto Parts. O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Each week, at least one child dies from heat stroke after being left alone in a car. Often, these incidents are not a matter of neglect, but even the most responsible, loving parents are liable to forget a child in the car due to sleep deprivation, stress, or a change of routine, which can lead to fatal results. As temperatures continue to soar, take steps to ensure a child is never forgotten in a hot car. Learn more today by visiting carsforkids.org/hotcars. Remember, that's cars with a K.
Now when you play Powerball, at Double Play for only $1 more, your numbers will be entered into the Double Play drawing for a chance to win up to $10 million. Double the play for just $1 more. If only everything good could be doubled. Double vacation days. Double desserts. Double your favorite dog diary. Double your play with Powerball Double Play for just $1 more.
Try it today. New York Lottery. Can you imagine? Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-OPEN-Y or text OPEN-Y.
WMAL, more than just politics, because laughter is the best medicine. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
We work alongside hostile foreign states that share their mission, like Iranian proxy networks, who are increasingly intimately tied to leftist militant groups.
Yes. The Democrat Party is not what it used to be, not by a terribly long shot. Marco Rubio, with a powerhouse of a speech today, our corrupt news media will ignore 98.77% of it.
And what they do pay attention to, they will misrepresent because, that's who they are. Let's go to the telephones, Michael. Let's go talk to the great American people at 888-630-9625. Let's go to John, calling from Maryland. Oh, John, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hi, how you doing, Chris? I just wanted to say something positive about the Democrats.
Oh, okay.
Yes, at least they're not getting engrossed in all makeshift choirs and all, and sitting around various pulpits in the Capitol singing songs, like during the Doge hearings and all. At least they're not doing that anymore. And I wanted to go further to say, if I'm walking in the park in Colorado, I'd rather face a Democrat with a homemade flamethrower and Molotov cocktails than a group of them sitting there singing songs.
That's very interesting. Yeah, the Molotov cocktail is less harmful.
Right, I'd rather face that man than have to sit there and listen to a choir of Democrats singing.
They're obnoxious, aren't they? Here they are now.
Yes, I'd rather face that man with the homemade.
Attacking the pro-Israel, pro-Israel anybody. There were marchers in Colorado that were firebombed with Molotov cocktails because they're pro-Israel. And that wasn't really even a news story, was it?
No, and it was also a story that was in and out of the news real quick.
Very quick. That's not even a one-day story. I got to tell you the day that Steve Scalise was shot and nearly killed by James Hodgkinson using a Chinese rifle. Bernie Sanders campaign volunteer, presidential campaign volunteer. That story went away in less than a day.
That was like a half a day, and that was gone.
Yeah, just gone.
Hey, another thing real quick too, Chris. A friend of mine, a female, called me. Heard the last tail end of an Al Charlatan speech, and she said, "Who is this man named Gurkle?" He's trying to play. And I said, "Well, Al Charlatan, he's always right. So, keep checking. We might find out who this Gurkle is."
That's funny. My brother, one of my younger brothers in Chicago, was yesterday at a concert in an outdoor venue, a big park with a band shell, because another one of my brothers was playing in the band, and there was a band playing in the band shell there, a nice outdoor, just outside of the city of Chicago, and my one of my brothers was standing up the side, and he's got a gal pal of somebody they know, and his boyfriend in there, and my brother is standing around talking to this guy. I don't know his name, or I'd share it with you, and in the middle of the conversation, the guy says, they're talking about how crazy things are out there. And the guy says, yeah, well, if it weren't for the Wuhan, for the Wuhan Red Death, and my brother just met this guy moments earlier. And they hadn't even really, other than first names, hadn't even tried to name. And my brother said, wait a minute, do you listen to my brother's radio show? That's the guy. He wasn't saying gurgle, but he was saying the Wuhan and the Wuhan Red Death. And my brother said, wait a minute, do you listen to, and the guy says, wait, you're Chris Plant's brother? And I said, yeah, I'm Chris Plant's brother. And then they started laughing and telling jokes and having a nice time. But the guy that my brother had just met right out of the blue used the Wuhan, very casually referred to the Wuhan, and they're talking about the Wuhan Red Death and stuff. And my brother had just met this guy moments earlier, and obviously he's a good person, an intelligent person, a well-informed person, a person with a great sense of humor. And you can tell all these things because everybody that listens to this radio show has all of those qualities and more. But the new friend just said, yeah, the Wuhan, and then the Wuhan Red Death came into it, and my brother had to say, wait a minute, this rings a bell, this sounds familiar. And that was a fun moment, like your friend with the gurgle with Charlatan and gurgle.
I'll tell you, Chris, it's a small world.
Yes, it is. Yeah, the media universe.
I'm a long-time listener.
Well, thank you, John. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I think Michael ought to play the gurgle, the Al Charlatan. And is it great? You call him Al Charlatan. If you call him Al Charlatan to anybody out there in the world, if they recognize it, this is the only place they could recognize that from, right? And
Right, and see, he's just down there talking in reference to that young man that tragically disappeared down there. I know he's down there with a GoFundMe page or something. I don't know if you saw that.
yeah,
But,
and Ben
yeah.
Crump, the attorney Ben Crump. Yeah, young guy. He looks like a nice young guy swimming with his friends in a lake in Texas, and he's disappeared, presumably drowned. And it does sound like a terribly sad story. But when the lawyer Ben Crump immediately gets involved, and then the Reverend Al Charlatan makes his way down there, they see a tragedy as something to exploit and to make money off of, and to create division, racial division over.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's Al Charlatan and the lawyer Ben Crump, who's effective. Ben Crump, the lawyer, he's effective at being racially divisive, like the Reverend Al Charlatan is, and like Barack Obama is. Really, the whole Democrat Party, the party of the plantation, very good at all that. But
I'm going to start supporting Verco, and hopefully the press will start scratching their heads, wondering what he's talking about.
I don't think they even scratch their heads. I don't think they care. They just go to Starbucks and steal something. I don't know.
Did I hear you correctly say that perhaps he was influenced by Virgo?
Could have been Virgo. Such a great soundbite.
Well, you take care of yourself, buddy.
Thank you, John. Thanks, appreciate it. See, normal people, and you hear John laughing. He's talking to a lady friend, and she caught a little Al Charlatan, and it's fun because everybody here gets the Al Charlatan reference, gets the Gurgle, channeling Gurgle reference, and the Wuhan Red Death, and all that stuff. Not to be confused with Edgar Allan Poe's The Mask of the Red Death, which my saying was based on the Edgar Allan Poe thing. But and honestly, you got to try to have fun with this, as crazy as everything is, and it's just civilization collapsing before our very eyes. But the Democrats.
I have to be the most inept charlatan in the country.
I think that might be true. He's not wrong 100% of the time, but just the vast and overwhelming majority of the time. But that doesn't mean that he's not occasionally right, like the old blind squirrel and all that stuff.
So in the words of my late friend Aretha Franklin, show some RESPICT.
Ah, yes, some respect. Show some respect. This is why education is not what it should be in the United States of America. The Reverend Al Charlatan, he's an American gem, isn't he? An icon. NBC pays him 7 figures to be a journalist. Journalism is dead. NBC is dead. Language is dead. Culture is dead. At least where these people are in charge.
No, pardon me. I do my hair. I do not curl my brain.
Yes, well, that would be repetitive, redundant, and unnecessarily duplicative. I think just crazy stuff. Now we got. Let's go. Thank you, Jack. Let's go to back to our sound bites here, because sound bite number 1. This is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. You know her, and the Democrats are literally talking about running her for president because they like her buttocks. All right. And that's they like to date her, but they want to date almost anything that's breathing, from what we can tell. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez did an interview with this left-winger named Pablo Manriquez. Pablo Manriquez, who's with Midas Touch or something fabricated like that, and talking to AOC on the steps of the Capitol, the United States Capitol here in America. And hey, let's attack Trump because Trump is going to give a speech. That's happening tonight, I believe 9 p.m. Eastern time in the United States. And this guy, Pablo Manriquez, he's talking to AOC. Hey, Trump's going to give a speech. And listen to them. They're anti-free speech, anti-First Amendment, anti-Constitution, anti-American stuff.
Democrats is able to give a big plan to spew election conspiracy theories on Thursday. Do you think that Radio Network should run it? Do they have to go on
No.
Rants? Speech.
Rant?
He's basically doing.
What does that word mean?
I don't think that we should be contributing to any platforming lies about our election.
I don't think that we should be contributing. You're not to any, and the left winger Pablo Manriquez. Oh, but Trump is going to give a rant and spew election conspiracy theories. That's a nice objective question. It's a pretty typical media question too. To a left-wing dimwit who was a bartender about 20 minutes ago, and reportedly not a very good bartender, unsurprisingly. And I don't think we should we should contribute, we should help to platform any lies about our elections. I remember the dangling chads and the hanging chads in 2000 and the Reverend Al Gore being down there, peace be upon him, savior of the oceans and all of that good stuff. Hey, is everything fixed? Have they fixed global warming yet? It's a little warm here today. Somebody called the DNC, see if they can tweak the thermostat on planet Earth and cool it off a little bit. Yeah, but what she said was that we should not allow the President of the United States a platform because she and some idiot with his question to spew a rant, to spew election conspiracy theories, that said, should the TV networks run that, allow the President of the United States? They are driving the country to civil war over our rights and freedoms and American history and customs and the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. And they've got these, dumb little bar bunnies in the House of Representatives who don't know what a garbage disposal is and didn't know that vegetables grew in the ground and grew in dirt. And she's a member of the House of Representatives, admired and adored by the news media and by hacks like Pablo Manriquez. We shouldn't allow the President of the United States to give a speech because in advance, I'm going to declare anything that he said to be lies. There have been reports that the president will use U.S. intelligence, U.S. gathered intelligence, which will lay out foreign interference in the 2020 election. There was a presidential election. That's one where Joe Biden won in a landslide over every president in the history of the country because he was in his basement for the whole campaign. So good. And then Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez went on to explain that television networks in the United States, which are licensed by the FCC, now listen to this, they have what she calls an ethical obligation to prevent Donald Trump from giving a speech, even though he's the President of the United States.
Many news outlets oftentimes may receive transcripts, and I think that we have an ethical obligation to not air things that undermine our election, that are not rooted in evidence and fact. And so, of course, it depends on the context of the speech, but that's my take on it.
Well, your take is head in your rectum, and you have no idea what you're talking about. What she's trying to say is that often the networks will receive transcripts of the speech in advance. When that does happen, it's usually just a few minutes in advance, not a day ahead. And then, and here's what you do, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, in a free culture, in a free society where we have the First Amendment and freedom of speech, which you guys would undo in a heartbeat, no doubt about it, and the free practice of religion entirely under assault by you people. And it's amazing. The network should not, because we have an obligation. Now, when Joe Biden comes out and lies, when Barack Obama comes out now, Obamacare is going to make everything better and less expensive. And funding Iran when they're working on an arsenal of nuclear weapons with which to kill us all. And Barack Obama gives them billions and billions of dollars. And he goes on television and says, isn't this great? Maybe the network should imprison him for that. And all the networks should be unlicensed by the FCC because they allowed Barack Obama to say these outrageous lies. Just amazing stuff. You people. And again, she should be a fringe backbencher that nobody pays any attention to. But because they want her in a hot tub, they listen to everything she says as though it matters, which is a big mistake. But the networks shouldn't allow the president to give a speech because the Democrats say so. And then they call you a fascist. These people. And the Democrats, they're honestly talking about running here for president in 2028, and they mean it. talk about the dumbing down of America. All their hard work on university campuses and in high schools coming to fruition. Now they're happy. Even their candidates are dumb. Forget about the voters. They've already locked them into extraordinary times we're in. The United States of America, Western civilization is under assault. And the domestic terrorists are, the Democratic Socialists in America, which have apparently taken over the Democrat Party. Oh, yeah, you see Pelosi talking about how Hakeem, the anti-Semite Jeffries, will become Speaker of the House if the Democrats win the House in November. And they're reforming the Confederate States of America, just like they did in the old days.
You're listening to The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Stay cool this summer with AC Pro at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, receive a $20 O'Reilly Auto Parts gift card after rebate with the purchase of a select AC Pro ready-to-use refrigerant kit that includes a hose and gauge. The advanced formula works quickly to seal common vehicle air conditioner leaks. Beat the heat at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The jackpots continue to soar. Go to any New York Lottery retailer today for your chance to win the Powerball jackpot, over $500 million. Or play for your chance to win the Mega Millions jackpot, over $550 million. Please play responsibly.
You trust WMAL to bring you the facts, and so do hundreds of thousands of like-minded listeners and business leaders each week. If you want to grow your business with people who share your values, WMAL's Cumulus Digital Solutions can connect you with customers wherever they are. Whether you're a small business or building something big, we'll create a strategy that works for you. Radio builds trust. Digital drives action. Together, they deliver results. Contact Rex Minturn at WMAL.com/advertise and let's grow your business together.
If you are in need of a roof replacement before the summer rainstorms hit, well, honor, respect, and trust your home with Valor. Hey, it's Vince for Valor Home, and unfortunately, some unscrupulous home improvement companies are claiming to be Valor Home, but there's only one Valor I trust. Don't be fooled by the imposters online. Go directly to ValorHome.com and look for Valor's signature patriotic logo, or call 833-83-VALOR. Tell them Vincent.
Here.
833-83-VALOR.
Kill me, boy. Is it? I guess a lot of wildfires going on up in Canada. I get notice on my phone about the poor air quality a couple nights ago. I'm like, what the hell? I'm going to shut this down, Artie. I got to go. Anybody listening, there's 4 people on my meter. I'll be back. I got company.